Yet again, here we go. First off, I'm going to start off with the balanced budget amendment. This is one of the most idiotic ideas anybody could come up with. Yes, we need a balanced budget. We need to control our imports and exports. We need a lot of things, but an amendment saying so other future people will follow it, does not help the current situation. In a complete, utter, and tired rage I did about 5 hours ago, I put, if we have to put a balanced budget amendment into the Constitution, maybe, just maybe, a majority of the morons you morons vote for should not be voted in ever again. Ever think about that? Ignorance is bliss, and the rest of America has to pay for it. Literally, pay for it. And if you see me looking over here, it's because I have a whole bunch of things listed right over here, so I'm not having a strange weird tick or anything. But and another thing, since we're on the balance stuff and government and Wall Street morons. Anybody who has read Frank Miller's blog about Occupy Wall Street is dead on. If you have not read it, go read it. You will enjoy it. He just basically sits there and calls them all morons, idiots, and a bunch of lazy, no-good slacks. The funniest thing is, Wall Street was one of Obama's complete and honest contributors to his very first presidential campaign, but now he's calling them pigs. I don't know about you, but it sounds like Obama's just making sure that people hear what they want to hear. He already did that with his first campaign, though. I don't think it's going to work with his second. He is out of here. I mean, the Tea Party, when they do stuff, they have a whole bunch of American flags flying and everything, and when they leave, no trash. But I've already said this in another video, so good job for you, Tea Party. But for the rest of you Wall Street idiots, why don't you go get out, start getting a job, even ditch digger. Ditch digger works too, because they're always hiring low-class jobs. Don't expect to get a $26 an hour job. It ain't gonna work out for you. And since I'm along the lines, since this looks like it's gonna be a government topic, maybe that's what I'll name this video. Boulder, Colorado is considering implementing a speed limit of 8 miles per hour for bicyclists. This could not tick me off even more. There is a reason they give speed limits for cars, and a reason they don't have stock speedometers for bicycles. I would rather get hit by a bicycle than I would a car. I mean, if you're going to have a race and all that for your city to promote good health or whatever, then you're going to have to lift that rule, and anybody who breaks that rule before the race can use the excuses, I'm practicing. But it's the law. And you know some dick cop's going to go, whoa, you broke the law anyway. Well, let's see. Wow, I jumped ahead of myself. President Obama got a lot of campaign from Wall Street. What is the next thing on the list? Now, most of you heard the Canada wanting to run a pipeline from their side to our side for oil and all that. Well, quote unquote, the Prime Minister of Canada is now considering exporting more oil to Canada, or more oil to China, as a result of a delayed decision regarding the Keystone Pipeline project by the U.S. The Obama administration delayed a decision until 2013, pending further studies after a protest campaign by environmentalists. This pipeline would have created jobs. It would have lowered gas. It would have helped more than it would have destroyed. And the greatest thing about those pipelines, once it's built, it's there. Nobody has to bother with it anymore. I mean, what do the environmentalists care about it? Because the only damage that's going to be done when they're done building it is any tire tread or anything done by the trucks or tractors. But you know what? That's a good thing too, because it turns that topsoil, so all the nutrients and stuff that were on the bottom or just hiding there just barely out of the reach of the roots is now mixed on with the topsoil to where it'll grow greener. We've done it before. I tore up my dad's front yard one time when we were living back in the suburbs with a four-wheeler when it was winter. Got all that dirt and everything going, and the grass grew back so much greener and healthier that year. So great. But heaven forbid, even more carbon emissions are exhausted from a car, even though every living thing has carbon in it. So, plus diesel, they mostly use diesel vehicles when working on pipelines, and that is carbon. Unburnt carbon if you see the black smoke, which is actually better for the environment than any gasoline engine. But that's for another rant, because I don't want to confuse anybody. Now, again, most of you have heard that people enacted Obamacare, which everybody is screaming unconstitutional. So since they started doing that, they came up with something called the Affordable Care Act. I didn't do much research on this one yet, but from what I understand from it, is that everybody has to buy health care. Well, since it looks like Obamacare is failing a bunch because a bunch of hospitals aren't accepting it because they don't get paid, and a whole bunch of people ain't accepting it because they got to raise taxes, so we buy money that we don't have. So now, they want you to buy health care, and it's illegal if you don't. So doesn't that just sound like they're forcing Obamacare onto us? I mean, sure, Canada has the healthcare thing, but you know what? Their taxes are so freaking high, it doesn't matter anyway. And the Supreme Court gets to hear about both of these, the Affordable Care Act and the Obamacare. Why would this need to go to the Supreme Court in the first place? Straight up, honestly, everybody knows it's unconstitutional. If you want it, you go out and you work for it. Even being a ditch digger will get you somewhere in the healthcare system. It's been done before. I've seen it done before. Another thing. People are sitting there and going, or Obama called Americans lazy. We have taken so much for granted in these few decades. What? I'm sorry, Mr. President. Last I saw, my mother was making meals from scratch, and my dad was working a 9-to-5 job for a communication company and spent a good majority of his life in the Air Force, and each and every single one of my family members has a job and has earned what they have right now. Unlike you, who got voted in, have a personal chef, personal trainer, your own boat, obviously your own vacation since you'd rather golf than do anything. Why? You know what? I think you're lazy. Because we were not better off 3 years ago. We were actually worse off 3 years ago. When we have to sit here and start implementing budgets and all this other crap, you should have seen this coming. But people can't see things coming. I mean, that's the excuse we all use. We didn't see it coming. Well, when Wall Street and everybody starts noticing the deficient going like this, eventually it's going to catch somebody's attention from either a foreign nation or something to where we sit there and write them a blank check, and that check doesn't cash. Obviously, something is wrong. But you know what? That's okay, because the more things they write off, the more we're going to be hurting. But, you know, whatever. Because when the time comes for all men to be judged, they will be judged the most. And that's from a religious point of view, and government and religion should be separated. I remember in school, elementary, and yeah, just elementary. Every morning, I pledge allegiance to the flag of I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. How many of you people actually remember doing this? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, so on and so forth. How many people remember doing this? Because we'd even sing the national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held, so gallantly. How many people remember doing this? How many youth nowadays can we look at and ask, do you say the Pledge of Allegiance every morning at school? We don't. Well, why not? Well, our teacher said that there was a separation between God and state, and he or she would get in trouble if she did. You know what? Screw that. Just do it. One nation under God. What? Not one nation under a political, so biased government that cannot stand with any morals. In high school, I joined MCJROTC, and every day I went to that class, we stood at attention, counted off how many people were there, did a left or right face towards the flag, hand over our hearts, and it said the Pledge of Allegiance. At parades, we had a Veterans Day parade a little while ago. Every time there was a lot of American flags, but every time the American flag walked by, everybody's hat went off. Eventually, we all just got, okay, and just kept the hat off completely. But you know what? There was not an ounce of litter on that street. But after 12 minutes and 20 seconds, I think you're done with hearing me. So, God bless the peacemakers, I guess. But keep this in mind next time you're out in the street and you see an American flag. Remember what it stands for. Remember where our nation came from and the standards and morals that our forefathers wanted us to have this day. Not a whole bunch of pigs in ties trying to scream and make a career out of politics or get as much money as they can. Quite honestly, government for the people is done. It's government for politics. Sadly, that's what I believe now, so I just gave up on it. I'll still vote. I'll only vote for the one who doesn't want to talk nothing but politics. Whatever you want to vote for, that's your business, not mine. So, God bless America. God bless the troops. God bless everybody. And most of all, God bless the morons who don't have half a brain to do anything right, because they need it more. But thank you for watching the video. Have a good day or night.